I'm running a 5e game tomorrow for my company. I don't know. I probably mentioned this already.
Yeah, I think you briefly mentioned that you were setting that up.
Yeah.
Is it just all ready to go?
I mean, I don't know if it's ready to go, but it's happening. It's happening tomorrow, so also at 10 a.m. I must be crazy.
Well, yes, but also.
Yeah. But yes.
That's why you look us.
I must... And I'm closing tonight, too, so my manager's like, oh, you're going to be closing tonight. You're going to be back here at 10 a.m. tomorrow. It's got to be extreme. And I'm like, yeah, but you know what? It's not the first time I'll be up at 10 playing a game. Oh, believe it or not.
When you close, what time do you get out?
It depends, but generally between midnight and 1. Which is not... It's not the worst Clopen scenario. I've got roommates who will be out, similarly late and up, ridiculously early. So it's doable.
I remember I used to work at Target, and they had a rule that there had to be an 8-hour difference between when you were scheduled to come in and when you had to leave. Because we would be there 3, 4 a.m. in the morning, still cleaning the store.
Closes, man. Closes suck. But nothing is worse than the Clopen. Okay, well, we're all here. Are we ready to do this?
Indeed.
It said we'd be... God damn, what happened to my face? It said we'll be without Rafferty, but I guess life must go on.
Yeah.
Life finds a way.
The game must go on.
Truly, he was the most dangerous of us.
I'm sure he'll be here before the end. We're not done with this game just yet, so he'll just be like, wait, why are we here? How did this happen? What's going on here? Oh, okay.
To explain all the terrible choices we made along the way.
I don't see why you do that, but okay. Yeah, so, yeah. I forgot to put on my mood music, but I'm going to do that right now, and we can get a rolling. I'm sorry if I'm a little congested sounding, more nasally than usual.
It's all good. I'll put some extra nose in it today.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. Good. Okay. Well, I think we're rolling, right? So let us begin. This is the Shade's Tale. This is an Ironclaw actual play game. I'm Red. I'm going to be your game host today. We're going to go around and introduce our intrepid crew. But before we do, I'm going to do a brief recap of last session to bring us all up to speed. This is according to my notes. The party splits. Adris heads to the White Ridge troops to discuss how to deal best with the Barrow Whites that have escaped the lake. The rest of the party heads west to Calamine's Sacred Grove. Adris finds that the reinforcements have arrived, including Fletcher the Ranger, a Palaginisi priest, and a few more units of soldiers. They go to meet the Barrow Whites in the woods. Adris stands his ground as the Whites charge and offers them a deal, and the Whites stop their charge. And sort of captivated by his ability to negotiate, the group learns that the Whites' mission is to kill all of the followers of Lutera. He offers to help them in their quest, and they agree to spare him and his men so long as they stay out of their way. And they continue their march south towards the Sacred Grove. Here's a cat. The rest of the party parts ways with Calamine. She lends them her help. She helps to teach the docs some of the blessed ways and gives them snacks for their journey. And they continue to take Ripe Dow south towards his hideout, his home, his cozy cave. Along the way south, the party falls into an ambush set by Devon. Devon, you'll recall, the son of the Baron Meldgard. They fall literally into a pit trap and are attacked by mounted hunters with lances. Connor handily defeats Devon, and the Doc uses his blessed magic to change Devon's heart. Devon breaks down in tears and asks for their forgiveness. He knows he cannot return to his father, but takes his leave in order to regain his lost honor. I think that's everything that I recall from the last session. So now let's go around and introduce our characters. Just tell us their names, their mottos, and we'll talk a little bit about our outstanding goals as well. And we can start with Arkloyd.
Hello, I am Arkloyd. I play Connor Levere de Ekervis, Brazen Raccoon Knight Errant and Crusader. He has I've already told his personality, but his motto is one hand washes the other.
Awesome. Well done. We also have Griffin.
Hey everybody, I'm Griffin. I'm playing the Doctor, the anonymous Armadillo Almoner, and my motto is first do no harm, second get paid.
Okay. Lastly today we've got Beta.
Adrisgar, man of many hats, by strength and guile.
Okay. Now, we hit another one of those points in the game where we had completed pretty much all of our goals, and we have yet to pick up that many new goals. Does anyone have a goal written down? It sounds like no.
I do actually.
Oh, okay. What have we got?
Confirm the legitimacy of Twitch's claim.
Okay.
Or whatever version that we've written down.
Yeah, that one kind of went through some changes.
Involve yourself in the plot.
Get it. Become embroiled in the plot. Okay, well, I would say also, this was one that we discussed. If it has not been officially offered, I'd like to offer it now, which is destroy the last necromantic circle. There is one left on the map in the Murray Forest to the west.
I think it's weird.
Muir? Okay, I like that. The Muir Forest to the west. The last remaining necromantic circle. So I'll offer you that goal now. And yeah. Goals.
Last necromantic circle. Bam.
I got one more academic question, just for my own curiosity. Because I know you guys have been doing a good job keeping track of all of this stuff. How much XP are people sitting on at this point? Like, over the lifetime of your characters?
Including the XP I've gotten from retraining, 326. I've spent 320.
Nice. Okay.
I mean, obviously, mine is less than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have 256 experience that I've spent.
Gotcha.
So there's a 50-point difference between me and him.
Because
also,
you died in the second or third session.
Yeah, died in the second and third. I'm also holding on to a bunch of other stuff, too.
I'm sorry. You guys are picking up audio from my...
I just assume that it's garbage day.
Yeah, it always is.
It's an excellent movie quote. And it just works so well because we get garbage day through Red a lot.
Yeah, well, it's Wednesday mornings, and that's when we do this. So.
Well, it's the only good scene from that movie, so...
Yeah.
What was that movie about?
Revenge plot. Or psycho revenge plot, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kind of a falling down meets... I don't know, blood debts, maybe? Falling down meets blood debts.
I don't know blood debts, but okay. Yeah.
Blood debts is the mob kills his wife. And then he goes on a revenge spree. It's the one at the end of the movie where, like, he falls down and then from nowhere pulls, like, a rocket handgun up his wrist.
Oh,
And he shoots the bad guy and he explodes.
And he explodes and then they just roll credits.
Yeah,
I do remember
frame.
seeing.
Yeah, it rolls credits and it says that he turns himself in immediately after.
He goes to jail. Yes, officer, I did blow that man up. Take me away.
Well, I mean,
Did you just survive a 10-story fall? Never mind that.
Accomplished the entirety of his revenge. After he blew that guy up. You remember the, give me more pimps, more pushers.
Oh, yeah.
That guy. After he blows that guy up with a rocket pistol from nowhere.
Concealed rocket pistol.
Yeah, he was done. There's nothing more to do. So he turns himself in.
That's a real hero, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, cool. Well, I was just curious, because we've been at this for a while, and I didn't actually know what the XP count was. And it makes sense that there would also be differences depending on like people who who chose to keep goals versus, or keep gifts versus trading them back, and people who have switched characters. I think Connor is the only character who's been with us since the very, very beginning. So he's a good, actually, I guess Anushka also. But yeah, that's a good yard measuring.
Yeah, technically, him and Anushka should have well, I guess they wouldn't. Depending on sold back gifts, that changes the totals.
Yeah. If you will advance faster over your lifetime by accepting, well, maybe not even accepting.
Yeah, and I'm not sure I have any sort of tracking of that.
Well, no, because
keeps, like,
no, you're right.
If you just accept
gifts, they're not XP. They wouldn't even enter into the total until they're sold back, and they will be sold back at 5.
They count as XP because they add to the total.
I do have 4 different gifts, so
you don't advance faster just by accepting them, though, because you might not be getting gifts that you need to survive or play into your build, which means that you're not actually advancing.
Right, yeah, I guess in terms of advancing, I'm just talking about in terms of your XP total, which actually has no real meaning. In and of itself, the XP number doesn't matter, it's what you do with it, so...
Yeah, number of gifts, I guess, but, yeah.
Sure, that would vary depending on what you're keeping and what you're selling, but okay, ultimately inconsequential. I was just curious. We got some real beefy characters here now, and this is the furthest I've ever gone with an Ironclaw campaign, so I don't know. Do you guys have... I know you guys have played a lot more of this game than I have over, on stream and otherwise. Is this kind of normal for the length of a campaign you've played, or is this a long one or a short one, do you think, in your estimation?
I think this one equals out to the longest that I've played before.
Okay.
I mean, like, I had the first campaign we were in, I was in, Raph ran, and then I ran, and then Rob ran.
Oh.
But that was Brand, who had basically every fire gift, and 12 marks of presence, and so I don't know if that equals out into XP, but that's how long that game went.
Yeah.
I do think this is the longest I've been in, but generally there's like 2 types of campaigns I see. Ones that end within like 2 to 3 months, and then after that it's like, well, year and a half.
The ones that just will never end. Yeah.
Well, ones that actually continue on without stopping and then actually reach their logical endpoint. It turns out to be like a couple years.
Yeah. I don't think this one, right? And then the question is, what's the logical endpoint? But anyway, okay, enough stalling.
Well, you asked a question. Out of the top 5 games I've been in, this is probably the longest. The second longest was a play-by-post I was in, where I played a thaumaturge, a witchfinder.
Nice.
Yo.
I've never played in a play-by-post game. I have to imagine, from what I hear, those are games that are just long by their very nature, because everything moves so slowly.
I'm counting by XP totals as well as this time it took.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, thanks. Thank you guys for satiating my curiosity. So yeah, where are we at? How do we want to proceed at this point? Where we last left Address and company, I think you are still in the mountains. I don't remember if you reconvened with the White Ridge guys or what your next move would be. I know that we were planning to do a rendezvous at some point, but I don't know if you guys have plans you want to work on before that point. So I toss it to you.
Yeah, I think in my mind, Ark and I had like a clear goal and destination, and our general objective was just kind of to wait for a bit. So I
Right.
do think it's like in Gar's court, because I think Gar maybe was gonna head to Mount Grimart and do stuff there, or White Ridge, yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see what Gar gets up to, and until Gar sinks back up.
So Scar's on Boss Hog's side. And Boss Hog does not like them White Ridge boys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get the analogy you're making, but it doesn't actually line up. Since the White Ridge Boys actually work for Boss Hog in this version of the analogy.
My bad. I'm bad with remembering who's doing what and who's who.
Right. In this case, it's more like Smokey and no, Smokey was the truck driver, wasn't he?
No, the bandit was a truck driver.
No, the bandit was the bandit.
Yeah. And Smokey was the cop.
Oh no, I thought Smokey was the guy driving the truck.
No.
Because it occurred to me that I don't remember his name. No, Buford T. Justice was the cop. Smokey was the truck driver.
His name was Justice?
Buford T. Justice. I can't remember what his son's name was.
I thought that Smokey was an old slang for a cop.
I thought Smokey was the guy who was driving the truck with his dog.
No.
Well, what was that guy's name?
Clyde or something?
I mean, even if that was the case, why would Buford get the top billing in the name?
I feel this is maybe slightly distraction from our original conversation.
This is
Gar,
way
you have
outside of my
top
depth.
billing.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, that's his name. Cletus the Snowman Snow. So, obviously he's not Smokey, so Smokey must be the cop.
I looked up who is Smokey and Smokey the Bandit, and this is Jackie Gleason.
Yeah, so you're right. Apparently his nickname is Smokey Bear. Which I don't remember ever coming up at any point during the season. Not season, series.
Yeah, someone just added to the wiki, I'm sure.
That's
The deep extended lore. It's in the comic books.
Sorry about that anyway.
That is okay. That is nerdy. You have gone where I cannot follow, but you know what?
You never saw Smokey and the Bandit?
Never saw it. I've heard it. I heard of it.
It's worth seeing only for the second movie, where the trucker calls in all of his trucker friends, and Smokey calls in all of his cousins and aunts and uncles from police forces from Mexico and Canada. And they have just like a crazy demolition derby on Assault Flats. Like hundreds of cop cars versus hundreds of truckers.
Okay.
That's where I was going with the White Ridge Boys analogy. The White Ridge Boys are basically all of Smokey's cousins.
Are the truckers outlaws?
Yeah, they're part of the Outlaws.
Okay. Interesting. I feel like if you were a truck driver and you were breaking the law, the company that employed you would probably take your truck away, unless you owned the truck. But I don't know anything about
Most of them
truck
do
driving.
own their own truck and end up
Okay,
being
then.
like freelance hired. I guess trucking could be as compared to Uber.
This is you know what? Okay. So this is the joke from I think it's from like the third Austin Powers movie. They referenced this. I never knew what it was.
And now you know, and you'll never unknow.
Unfortunately, that clip doesn't show it, but you know, they do the whole like Star Wars thing where, oh, they go in single file to add their numbers.
Oh, I was gonna say like
you got like
formation.
Yeah, they got hundreds of cop cars coming down on Bandit, and you see his friend in one truck rolling on to help him, and then all of these other trucks just span out across the horizon because they've been, you know, in convoy formation.
Right.
So you only see the friend, and then whoa, it's all of them.
Crazy. Okay. Interesting. Well, maybe I'll have to do some research later. It's like a huge part of American culture that I have no frame of reference for. Man, but you know what? CB radios, very cool. I will say that much. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna mute my mic for a minute.
Everyone get out of the way. But Red, I do believe we gotta figure out what Gar is up to.
We do. Well, I guess Gar has to figure. Well, okay. So if your move is I'm heading to White Ridge, then I guess the ball is in my court. Which means that you guys will probably have to put up with some garbage sounds for a minute, and I apologize for that. But it shouldn't last too long. So, yes. Upon returning to White Ridge with news of victory, the Baron is quite pleased to hear this and welcomes you back with a jovial guffaw. He says, those miserable flea-bitten ingrates. I knew they just needed proper leadership. I never doubted you for a second, my boy. And he pats you on the back. So, I want to hear all about it. Tell me of your exploits and how soon can we begin the mining operation?
There's still one more group of goat men up there in the hills that need to be taken care of. But hopefully the reinforcements that the troops receive plus new leadership will be able to take care of them easily enough.
Indeed.
Unfortunately, I think the real hazard is all of those undead that are now roaming the hills.
Undead, you say, and a hush falls over the banquet hall.
Well, my supernatural advisor has informed me that there's some form of wraith which are impossible to kill.
Oh, yeah. Well, they won't. You said that they are moving south. Is that correct? So soon they should be someone else's problem, I do hope.
Well, they have informed me that they're going after the Lutarist Groves.
Well then, they have the Blessed to deal with. I wouldn't envy anyone living or dead who stands against them, right? And you can see that he's a little bit uncomfortable with the notion of the undead moving closer towards their secluded town, but he's trying to put on a bold face about it.
Well, once again, they are immortal and impossible to kill. So, I don't know. I guess the good news is that unless you've suddenly renewed your faith, I think you're probably safe.
Right, we established that the Baron, he has a Salutmare priest in his town. I don't think he's a very religious man in any direction, but he's also maybe hedging his bets on that one.
I mean, if you were suddenly to make a conversion... sorry, my history is failing me. No academics.
Mm-hmm.
There have been times where rulers have changed their religion and then forced those beneath them to follow through on the same. And it behooves me to recall now that the Wraiths are in a war against a specific religion, i.e. the Luterists. So if you were to announce that you were a devout follower of Salutmare, you could probably save your entire region from their threat completely. And all of your rivals surrounding you who stay devout to their Luterist ways would probably be weakened and ripe for your, I don't know, whatever your plans for the future might be.
When you say this, is it like in sort of like a private conversation tones, or is everyone listening in at the hall? It's up to you. Is it just like you and him? I kind of was assuming that this was sort of like all eyes were on you, but yeah.
Well, I mean, who's present in the hall?
It would be him and his typical party goers. I assume whenever you get into town, he's like, okay, banquet time, round up the
right,
boys.
But I mean, like, nobody from the outside, just the normal people.
Just people from...
Yeah, then I'm fine with it. I say it out loud. I'm not hurt by these suggestions.
Right, and they are sensible. It is kind of sobering, because a lot of people some of them are like nervously looking back and forth to one another or glancing over to Meldgar. He himself has like a furrowed brow. He's considering it. You've seen him enough and you've dealt with him enough to know when he's gonna cave, when he's made up his mind and is just sort of trying to present himself as someone who's thinking deep thoughts. And this is one of those situations where you're sure that he has no problem with doing whatever it would take, and has no particular allegiance to a religion. But yeah, other people in the hall are a little bit like concerned, like, whoa, shit, I mean, we spent our whole lives being Luterists.
Yeah,
just like switch.
I reach into a pocket and I put down this chapbook on the table that the doctor gave me a long time ago.
Hell yeah. I love it. Okay. And he was going to say, oh, well, this is certainly worth investigating. And he'll pick it up and he'll flip through it, as so many have before, casually flipped through the doctor's chapbooks.
As I say, it's not just a political matter, or an ecumenical one. Strategically, this could play out in the long term to empower your area against those in the region that do not see the writing on the wall, shall we say.
Indeed, indeed. And you have not led us astray since, Sergar. You are truly a gifted mind of our time. And as he says that, he's going to pass the chapbook to his wife, who will also then now busy herself paging through its pages and giving considered nods and grunts of interest as she flips through the pages. And yeah, as I said, I think that Gar's read on the situation would be that this guy is going to make a proclamation. He does not care at all about switching religions. And he'll try to do it in a way that will make his townsfolk, swallow the news without too much resistance.
I mean, but not without precedent. I mean, as Anu before, to Salamer, so too shall, I guess, Lutara to Salamer. Everyone remembers the Ravagers.
Right, so. Okay.
So, I guess I'll also tell him what my plans are. That I'm going to be heading out towards Harrogate soon after this.
Ah, indeed. Well, in that case, I would ask that you, if you wouldn't mind, along the way, we owe a debt to the Baron Ashton.
You don't, though.
No?
You made a deal, remember?
Oh, yeah. So there was already, like, a monetary transaction there?
Yeah, there's the whole mining rights and trade agreements, and all this stuff was hammered out ahead of time, so he got, for his money, what he was going to get. And otherwise, we've increased the trade and, I guess, transaction nature of the relationship between these two border governments.
Okay, well, he says that he does not. Yes. So Meldgard says that he does not. He did not expect much ultimately from the reinforcements, but they proved to perform just as well as his own units have in this, and he would be remiss not to send a gift. If you're headed that way, he asks if you would deliver it, but it is not necessary. If you have more pressing matters, he'll send one of his messengers.
It's on the way. I have no problem dropping by.
Yes, of course. Well, we're not barbarians up here in the mountains, despite what some of the other lords may say. Yeah, he'll send something, I don't know, some mountain brewed ale or something like that, something that is,
Mountain Dew.
Some Mountain Dew. Yeah. That's gonna be what they call it, actually. The Mountain Dew. Beautiful.
It's been a trying week. I think I'm just gonna take my rest for the evening. Would you mind, though, sending me some entertainment to my room? How about, like, that gesture of yours?
Ah, yes, that. And now he kind of like comes in close and sort of crowds out the other conversations. He says, yes, well, I recall our previous conversation in regards to my guests and my fool. There have been advancements since we last spoke. Shortly after leaving, those interlopers returned under the guise of, again, foreign nobles. I was prepared to let them take their leave as well, as you suggested, wheels turning and everything. However, we were also visited by an emissary from the south, one Red Fox of Triskellion, a lady of some severe character, I might add. She came bearing an official writ, a request to, to speak with my fool, who seems to be quite popular these days. I should have this. There we go. The woman's name was Calpurnia. There we go. Calpurnia Bocci. One of these Rinaldi folk.
Have we met her before?
Did Adris meet her before?
I'm not certain that Adris has. I just mean the party.
Yeah, in general. You guys have crossed paths with her in Three Corners Fort. I think she interrogated the doctor and Anushka one time. You guys were passing through there.
Gar, then, yeah.
Pre-Gar. So, but yes. Anyway, the long and short of it, Calpurnia recognized the owl. I actually forget what name he was traveling under, but she said that he was an escaped enemy of the state of Triskellion, and she took him and his followers into custody. And this Calpurnia woman also spoke of similar things that you did in terms of a coming change in the power structure. She spoke of joint ownership of the fort, something which we have had our eyes on for quite some time. Seemed exactly. I placed myself in your position and thought, what would my good friend Sergar do when given this ripe opportunity? And so I let her. It only cost me a fool, which I must admit I do miss dearly. His absence is a hole in my heart. I am not, however, sad to be rid of my guests. I do hate it when people lie to me. It's like insects under your fur. You know the feeling.
Well, I guess that's the benefit of a good bath.
Mm.
Wash it all out. Oh, that's fine then.
Indeed. I will say that I was surprised to learn that their destination was to head west out through Septigus' stand rather than taking the southern route through the monastery. Seems needlessly dangerous if you ask me, but then they were traveling with quite a decent-sized retinue of guard. Perhaps they were not afraid of the dangers. And perhaps they were just dumb city folk and know not what dangers they stumble into.
Or they'd have no confidence in their ability to climb.
Very possibly.
I mean, sounds like the correct course of action to me.
Oh, you're the strategist.
So long as you made your, plays towards Three Corners Fort, as apparently was given towards you, it all seems to play out well for you. I can't fault you on anything that you've done.
Assuming the fox keeps her word, I must admit, Adris, having your indispensable counsel has been, well, it has been good luck to me, if nothing else. And even that would be selling it short. I wouldn't wonder if you would mind staying around a while as a retainer. I could present you with all of the riches that White Ridge and Mount Grimart have to offer, if that is something that would interest you.
Sorry, in my head, the first thought was, what would happen if I said yes?
I know, right?
Well, retired character, let's pull out somebody else.
Exactly.
Oh, hey, Dan, I didn't know you were out here.
Dan, the fighting man.
He's punching Colt in the face.
But yeah, I don't think that plays to what Gar is about, so...
Okay.
I appreciate the offer, but I'm a man who has to travel.
Yes. We've all been entertained by your tales of adventure before. I suppose it would be wrong to try to tie you down, eh? But if you ever are looking for a place to settle, you are quite welcome here. You will always find a warm bed and a hot meal awaiting Sir Gar, and he offers a toast in your name.
I feel like this is one of my rare opportunities to say something about Gar's backstory. And if we're getting close to the wrap-up of a season of a show, then it feels like if it's never going to come up, I might as well just say it myself.
If you like to.
Toast. And then I'll lean in, and the way he's been quietly talking to me, I'll tell you a secret.
Mm-hmm. His ears perk up.
I'm actually my father's son. And that sounds stupid when I say it out loud. My father is actually the head of the House of Gar. And he's been quite actively trying to bring me back home to run the family. So, as you can quite tell, I'm trying to avoid being tied down.
He guffaws at this news, and he says, "Quite the character, turning down a wealth and status for a life of freedom. Ha! You remind me of a young and impetuous version of myself. Truly a character to be immortalized in song and story. Where's the bard?" He snaps his fingers, and a scrawny cat will run up with a lute. And he just begins to expound on this maybe even flowery version of your story and your exploits, based on the various stories that you've told. And the cat just begins to furiously take down notes. You can tell this is not the first time he's had to hastily invent a song for the behest of his lord. Okay, the first version of the Ballad of Sir Gar is maybe a little rough. You think they could use some rewrites and some edits, but at the point of the night, everyone is starting to get quite sauced, and it seems to be a big hit. If not for the song itself, but more for the fact that you've become kind of a minor celebrity in the town. Maybe a major celebrity. They probably don't have that many celebrities. So, the night is full of festivities.
Yeah, I guess after the sun is turned tail, as it were.
Yeah, right?
There's no more of him coming back in celebration.
Yeah, and honestly, no one liked that guy. I get the feeling that even the nobles who had to drink and party with him probably were a little bit afraid that at any moment he would start shit with them. He was an angry drunk.
Oh yeah, because next time he shows up, if he ever does again, his father's already promised him vengeance.
Yeah.
For stabbing me.
Right, yeah, he's no son of mine. Okay. So yeah. The fool has fled, not fled really. The fool has been captured along with the Children of the Shade by Rinaldi Jakoba forces who have trekked to the west. Update some tokens here. You guys are not that far away. We're going to say that Group A is here in White Ridge. Group B is here near the walls of Calabria at Ripe Dow's den of many hermit comforts.
Ripe Dow's den of worldly delights.
Was that the meeting place that you guys were going to rendezvous at?
Yes, indeed. We were taking Ripe Dow back home, and we were going to hang out with him until Gar showed up.
Alrighty then. Gar, is there any other business you'd like to attend to at White Ridge?
Not beyond a convoluted explanation of politics towards the Baron, just so he understands that politics are a fluid nature, and you have to constantly keep apprised of the current situation. Because I don't want him to well, she said this, so this will always be true.
I will say after, several conversations, perhaps some of them drunken conversations and others painfully sober, you still get the feeling of trying to describe, calculus to the captain of the football team kind of situation. He's trying his best, but you can tell that he's not grasping some of the more subtle concepts.
It's like Ricky Gervais from The Invention of Lying.
I never saw that one either.
She said something that was not. I don't get it. What do you mean?
I remember seeing trailers for that. He's like the one guy in the world who can lie.
The first person to invent lying, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. So, at some point you will take your leave and you will reconvene. Actually, you know what? At White Ridge, you guys survived some harrowing attacks. This might be a good opportunity to roll for your irregulars and see who's sticking around, or if you manage to pick up any more tag-alongs.
Yes, regular time.
Should I roll as well?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would say no for you, Connor, because I think since the attack, you have only been at hermit cottages. It's not a place where people would want to stay, or where you would probably find backup. Unless it's something you would want to. If you would want to potentially recruit some Chevernace dudes, I guess that could happen. All right, 11 irregulars in the party.
What's my total? Let's see. I might need to make up some new people.
Yeah, that seems like a good number. I know you don't travel light to begin with, but I feel like, is this a record?
I don't think so. I think I might have had more before. I think 13 might have been. So everybody that I've had before has rejoined, and now I need to make one more person.
Nice.
That's why I don't think it's a record, because we've had 2 people die.
Right, you've also lost some people. Okay.
Yeah, so I think having those people in the number pushes that number to 13. So I think 13 must have been the max.
Yeah.
Alright, so who is going to be the new person?
Excuse me.
What do we need?
Okay, while you're thinking about that, I'm going to pitch it to our other people.
Okay.
The rest of your journey is not super eventful as you follow Ripe Dow to his hideout, we'll say.
Mm-hmm.
His cave.
Looking for that info.
Yep, sorry. Just paging through my notes, looking to see if there's any other horrible wintry ambushes I want to throw in your face on the way down. Yep. No, I think you guys are good. You collected, you've got enough rations, you planned the trip out, so you don't have to worry about starving and eating each other. You survived your ambush with flying colors, and at this point, it's just about laying low for the most part. And surviving Ripe Dow's smell, which seems to be, even worse than usual. Dow is not very talkative, not that he ever was, but he does seem appreciative of your help. And he does, occasionally strike up a conversation or two about you guys, your adventures, what would compel you to stand against the horror that is these necromancers, something he seems like he can't really wrap his head around. One night, he sitting across the campfire on a rare clear night outdoors when you're all sort of just enjoying the stars. He does ask you how you find your courage, when every single cell in your body is telling you to run, to flee for your life. How can you stand against that primal fear? It's nothing that he was ever thought he was brave enough to do.
Mr. Connor, you want to take that one first?
It is my honor and my duty to the ideals of chivalry that give it to me my bravery.
Straight
In other
to the
words, I serve an ideal, and that ideal gives me strength.
Dow scratches his head with a tiny claw. This seems to be a notion that is never really taken in his brain. As a hermit, someone who removed himself from society, it's no wonder. I suppose that he does not that he hasn't really grasped notions of honor, of serving something greater than yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But he shrugs. And he says, "Well, I suppose I owe you. I owe you all of my life. If there's anything that you want or need, he claps his hands together. In fact, I know just the thing. I will make us my famous fish head stew. I've been saving the heads for just this purpose, actually." And yeah, he he says tomorrow, tomorrow night. Well, I'll cook it up for everyone.
Ah, yes, this will go great with the lutefisk.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah,
As long as you have good bread.
I'll see what I can find. He's traded for bread, like I said. He trades with the chefs and occasionally with mountain men from the south. So he might have some bread, but we'll see. Seems like he subsists mainly on a diet of foraged fish and berries. Maybe this is something to do with his particular aroma, but yeah.
Speaking of his aroma, I gotta try, since it is an option. I will attempt to use my blessed magic to clean him.
Oh my gracious. Oh no, it does not. That is 0 successes.
Yeah, nothing. No, even the world itself is against this.
Fate itself said no.
Well, it's like blessed magic is like the natural order. Maybe it was just nature's will that this guy smells so bad.
Wait, what is that? Oh, that's just a spirit of stench hanging around here. No wonder.
Right? Yeah. It's funny because at a certain point you kind of get used to it, and yet I don't know. On this night, there's just something extra potent about it as well. And for the sake of the narrative, we'll say that on this particular night, well, actually, I don't know if you'd be traveling at night. We'll say in the morning, Adris will arrive with his troops, with his men, and you guys will all be brought up to speed on the situation. Time to plot your next move.
Gar, welcome back.
Sorry, I used the icon thing for the random name.
Oh, that's okay.
My new person's name is Rudd.
Yeah,
So,
Rafferty will
sir,
have fun with that.
how are the Children of the Shade? Did you check into the matter they were interested in?
Yeah. Apparently things didn't go well for them. You remember how last time we met them they were all arrested?
The time before last, I believe, yes?
And before last as well, because they've been arrested more than once.
And maybe the time before that as well.
They're very
There might be
popular.
a pattern here, but do surprise me.
Oh, well. Unsurprisingly, the pattern's repeated itself.
I am, well, I can't say this was unexpected.
Shocked. Simply shocked. I can read it in your face.
Absolutely. So I suppose you, did not get a chance to tell them about what you've discovered about Twitch.
We haven't discovered anything about Twitch.
Ah, I see.
If you
Uh,
recall, it was merely a thought one of them had. So, there's been no discovery. That's what we were going to try and figure out.
And, what of the sword?
I assume captured as well.
I mean, if they
Well,
had
hold on.
the
I
sword.
think... Oh, you did give it to them.
Yeah, remember we gave it to them.
You did. Okay. Then yeah. Also in the clutches of
If
she's gonna
she,
remember her name.
if she even Calpurnia, if she
Calpurnia.
even understands or knows what it is. Because all we know is that she was heading there for them. No idea if she knows what the sword is about.
Well, I would again be remiss to hear them floundering in jail, and of course to have something seemingly so important in the hands of, well, someone like the Baron there.
Do we not already have more important things to deal with?
Technically, I mean, I said I would feel remiss about it.
I'm just pointing out that every time we deal with one of these necromantic circles, they get stronger and more powerful. That perhaps knowing this and knowing that there's only the one left that you've marked here on this map, that perhaps we should deal with it before, it gets any stronger or they make a move.
Indeed. But I
I
suppose
don't
we can always
want to
deal with.
lose.
Oh,
I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Connor.
I don't want to lose track of the sword.
I think it's easy to tell where that's at. One is probably heading to Three Corners. Two, if it's not at Three Corners by the time we get there, it'll be in Triskellion. I don't think losing track of the sword is going to be a problem anymore. Our
They've already
enemies,
We know
figured
right
out
where it
the
is.
central
our
rock.
enemies only go to one of two places. Literally, it would be easier to find it in our enemies' hands than it would in our allies, because our allies go everywhere.
Well, my concern, of course, is what of the fate of the Children of the Shade?
They can't avoid being arrested. They're like problem children at this point.
They're not very good at their job.
I think we just wash our hands of them.
They're probably going to be under charge of treason. Not much we can do about that.
Again,
I mean, as am I.
it's
But
true.
if we had them travel with us for their safety, they would only slow us down.
I would feel better if I knew that they weren't doomed to death should we not interfere.
I think I can assuage your concerns there, Doctor, with this one simple statement. Death comes to us all.
The doctor just gonna cross his arms and go, yes, but supposedly later than tomorrow.
Well, assumedly that they're traveling at a fixed pace and the same distance and speed that we're able to travel, they're not going to reach Three Corners by tomorrow. Though that assumes that they left reasonably around the same time that we got found out that they had been captured. All I'm saying is that if they want to put on the pomp and spectacle of a public execution once again, which I assume that they would, in the hopes that it would lure you guys out of hiding, who would obviously attempt to try and save them again, then they're going to take some time to do it, to fully ensure that you arrive.
I feel confused by this statement. Are they not still in White Ridge?
No.
They're being taken away.
Apparently
Right.
they have a large number of guard and retinue, and they are making their way downtown.
Downtown.
Faces
Well,
past,
westward.
and they're homebound.
God damn it.
They don't know about the sword. Is the sword still in White Ridge?
We
then?
don't know that they don't know about the sword.
Well, I
That's
know
true.
that I can know if they know
Well, if
by
you
supposedly
recall,
whether or not they've taken it or not.
I guess this would be an out-of-character moment. If you recall,
Hmm.
the Avatapau know, and presumably the Avatapau might share that knowledge with their Triskellion because
Mm.
it's important to them.
I would like to attempt to do some dowsing with my way of Hazel.
Ooh, okay. All
I
right. I
need
like this.
merely one success.
Okay.
Alright, so
That's
it does
one
work, which
success.
now I can make a search check in order to be given the idea of where it is. Let me go
This
ahead.
is anywhere
Nice.
on the material realm, right? That's
More or less, this is I can try to track and find the item regardless of the length of time it's been lost or whether, or if there's been weather since then or anything. I can find whatever item I want. But supposedly this will probably just tell me which way I should be going. It's not
okay.
like it pinged with its mental location. I have to actually attempt to search check and to follow this.
I gotcha. I'm not contradicting.
Mhm.
I don't mean to contradict you. I just want to know what the page number is, just so I have an idea of like kind of how this works on edification.
It is in the mystery book. Let me go
Yep.
ahead and see if I can pull up a page for you real quick. It has been a minute since I've opened it.
Blessed. You said Hazel Path?
Yes.
Hazel Path,
Displays
found
on
it.
3%.
406. Hazel Spirits. Search for an item. Search find an item regardless of length of time it's been lost.
How does that compare to
Since then.
location spell?
I think. Okay.
Location will actually tell you about where it is, I think.
Now
This is I literally am going hands and feet and tracking.
or do you get the distance as well as the direction?
So yeah, so this is
Nope.
exactly what I wanted to know. So this reads to me like location you're talking about, like, oh, it's somewhere in the world and I'm going to pinpoint it with my GPS tracking. This feels
I don't get
like
that.
I dropped my earring in the woods somewhere and we'll never find it, except this will help us find it, track it over land and then pick it up, right?
Right.
I feel like because you are not starting in a place like this isn't something you had and then lost, or even something that someone else had and then lost. This is something
We did
somewhere in the
technically have it
world,
at one point.
right?
I
That's a
mean,
fair point.
I
would say
if I was to read this, just to throw my 2 cents out there,
okay,
that it's using the analogy of the dowsing rod, and the
Yes.
dowsing rod is just a directional tool. If you ever seen anybody do it,
yeah,
it wouldn't give you distance or anything like that. It would just point you in a direction.
Mhm.
right. I'm comfortable with that. Yeah, with the idea that like this magic can kind of like turn you into a compass, but you don't know. But in terms of like actually the tracking and seeking and everything like that, I don't think I would even have you make that roll, because there's no chance that you're going to like rummage through the underbrush and find this thing.
Right. This is more, can I get a vague sense of direction? Because there's two possibilities. Either it's pointing more or less towards White Ridge, which is the location we assume he threw it into an armory, or B, it's not pointing directly towards White Ridge, which means that it's on the move with the Children of the Shade.
Right. And I'm not going
That's
to have
all
you
the information I'm looking for, or could probably even conceivably get without actually following the trail.
exactly. So I'm not actually going to have you rolling the tracking searching because that would be like looking for clues and finding your location. I will say that with this expenditure of magic, the spirits guide your dowsing rod or whatever it is that you're using. And
It's over here.
exactly, you find yourself pointed west, slightly northwest, in fact. When asked, Dao will say that you're headed almost directly towards the Bisclavret lands. Perhaps if you hiked up to a nearby mountaintop, you could even make out Lake Coir in the distance. Actually, I don't know if you could, curvature of the earth and all that. But anyway,
No,
yeah.
you couldn't. Each of these
You couldn't.
squares is over. Each of these squares is over the distance that the horizon would take.
Wow, okay.
So
So
we
yeah,
can
so
see, like,
never
this far.
mind. Then you definitely could not. But yes, he tells you that you're speaking about yes, almost a due westerly direction, probably even more southerly than what this arrow is pointing. In fact, I'll just give you an arrow. I
North,
can do this too.
southwest. South, northwest.
Where's that?
The increments between.
I know, right? Like if you're just gonna go exactly, it's really just more west.
It's like because you had northwest, but then you also have the increments between those, which is north,
exactly.
southwest. No, south, northwest.
You want to be at least 247 degrees.
This is, yeah, right. I should have just done this to start with because you're literally getting a vector from your dowsing rod. So it would just be something like this. So you know that they are this way.
That's
If you can see
interesting.
my red arrow.
I thought they would be going to three corners, which would be in an easterly
This
direction.
way. Or this
But
way.
it is not in the town. Well,
Yeah.
Well,
since
again, the information that we got was that they were heading through Septicus's stand, which is at some location northwest of us.
That's true.
Isn't
Clear.
that the
It's specifically
It
this
is the
way.
Haunted Woods. But as I joked with the Baron, they probably didn't want to take their entire entourage on a climbing escapade down the mountainside. So they could be heading through Septicus's stand to head down river, or even reconvene with the road at some point.
I see. Well, we are technically heading in that vague direction.
Right, but again, the argument I was given before was that we should probably head straight for the necromantic circle.
Well, yeah, that is basically our direction that we have to go if we want to go that way anyway.
Right. I'm suggesting not stopping for this. I'm going to use the word here that you're not going to like. Nonsense.
Nonsense.
We have literally a. I don't know, do you call Calabria a continent or an island?
It's a
I'll go
continent.
continent. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like the smallest of all of them. So that's why it's like, do we consider?
Is it really?
Yeah.
I didn't actually know
Zangao
that.
is bigger. Gavoria is a legitimate continent because it's thousands of times bigger. But
What we need to do is we need to go to Triskellion, we need to go to one of the libraries, and we need to hound one of the local geographers about whether or not it is or is not a continent in their professional opinion.
well, either way, what's going on in the Muir Forest can legitimately bring an end to this island.
Continent.
I think I'm going to call it an island because I think the pretext of the Isle of Alvark is that those people just consider Calabria to be another island.
I feel like I've heard in the book they call it the Isle of Calabria. I might be making that up, but it sounds like something someone said, so I think it could work.
Okay.
I believe it.
So I suppose for now, Sir Connor, what direction should we go? What is our course?
I do hate to be cruel, but we have saved these children in the past. They've not learned their lesson.
Poor fools.
So we must do as we must. And these circles get more powerful every day. And we already have many days of travel ahead of us.
But
That's true.
what course will we take? Are we going through Septicus's stand?
We're down through
We
the
are already very
monastery.
far south.
I guess you could overland it over the mountains. I mean, like
We have the walls to deal with again.
this
if we're heading
way.
back
I
towards
feel like the
monastery.
doctor is posing a trick question. Because as the newly ingratiated blessed of the group, he would have to know how unholy Septicus' stand actually is.
Okay, so out of character, my impression from before was that there's only two places we can cross the river, Septicus and Stand and Vasquez, and that's what we discussed going toward
Right.
across the river towards this direction. And last time we went, no, Septicus' stand is too haunted, let's not cross there. So it doesn't seem like there's an in-between point to cross, hence why we have to go to either A or B.
Except
and
actually,
Vasquez is
when we
way
got
further
here,
north.
we actually climbed the mountain last time.
Right, climbing the mountain is also a possibility, and last time we almost fell off.
Because we were being attacked
Fell
by
off the
somebody.
mountain.
Oh,
So, that is also a possibility, which is why I'm asking Sir Connor, which way are we going?
I say we go down the Palaginesi stairs.
Alright then.
This is a reasonable. It's the shortest journey, and it's also probably the safest.
And
They're
if they're
doing
going
another
south,
climb.
as I assume they are, we may cut them off. If you are interested in pursuing the children.
We will hit the road before them. It's very likely we may just simply cross them, even without attempting to pursue.
So it's
they
possible.
left first, so it's also possible that we don't know what their time frames are.
The only thing we have to do is travel and find out. So, we are going down to the Palaginesi Monastery then.
Hooray! As you settle on this, Ripe Dow comes out with steaming bowls of fish head stew. He says it's a little bit thin. I wasn't expecting so many guests. I apologize, the cave is only so big, but please, it's the least that I can do. Dig in. And yeah, you can smell this stew even over the musk of your friend Ripe Dow, but he seems eager to see you try it.
Your generosity warms my heart, right?
I mean, I dig in.
All right.
Man of the people.
Okay. And at this point, the light is failing. He says, you're welcome to make camp here and stay the night. I'll make breakfast as well, if you'd like.
Indeed, I believe we will head out in the morning.
All right then. Night falls. There's some jovial discussion. Dow seems to be enjoying the company, getting over his natural shyness, and night falls. Connor, you awake with a frightful pain in your stomach. Everybody, time to roll body and endurance.
Oh boy.
So many rolls to make.
Yep.
I have no endurance, but if this is the food, might I ask for survival? Which is meant for this.
Is it meant for handling this?
Yeah.
Okay.
If
I feel like
for eating terrible food that you're not supposed to eat.
You shouldn't be. I suppose.
Can I ask a favor?
Yeah, we're coming back to the survival thing. What do you need?
Can Calvoria just pass out to my 11 men 11 bottles of quack medicine, and we'll just rote this?
Quack medicine is your. Is the quack medicine is. It's like snake oil. It's like placebo, right?
Yeah, it gives you a placebo d6.
I like this under normal circumstances, but you guys don't have the whole story yet. But you're about to. So I'm gonna say no, although I like where your head's at. If she has real medicine in
she
her,
does, but she only has 6 bottles of good medicine.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we can retroactively use that once I drop the other shoe, which is gonna happen here in a minute.
Oh, you said endurance?
Endurance, yeah.
Body
endurance and body. Yep.
Alright.
And you know what? We'll just say if there's anything that anyone might have to resist poison, I'm trying to think if there's any gifts that fit that particular bill. I'm not sure if there are any.
Well, can I still pass out the quack medicine just to give those people the bonus?
Does it give a bonus?
Well, assumedly a d6, if this is a thing.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay.
I don't think there's anything in particular. Alright, so A or nay on survival, then. What is your...
like, my mind is that survival is, like, in you finding food that is edible, and that's, like, it feels like it's, like, a mind skill, right? Not necessarily, like... I feel like endurance is the skill for dealing with the consequences of illness or ingesting something toxic.
Okay, let's do it. 1d6.
Okay. Wow.
2.
Okay. Ugh. All right. We got Doctor.
Yeah, no, now y'all can take a 10-minute break.
I know, right? Because we're gonna have to roll these. But hey, listen, this is what we signed up for. We got a lot of irregulars. Okay.
Toast amongst yourselves.
Yeah, the interesting thing about every 10-hour block of Celtic music on YouTube is that it always ends with like a weird pop song in the very last like 5 minutes, which is strange, just very strange and disorienting every time it happens to me.
Oh yeah, it's like someone's outro song or something.
Right? It's just like we're just gonna throw in this like my friend made made like a pop song. I'm just gonna throw it in at the end. Some non copyright free music. Ye indeed.
Should I roll my personality here? It is tempting. Everyone else is succeeding.
You might. I mean, you could be the only one who's not succeeding on this. That's fine. But, well, we'll see.
I think I'll go ahead and roll it. I'll go ahead and just say, but you know what? I believe I'll be fine.
Hey,
for the merest success I can get.
Your blind faith has done wonders for you in the past. All right.
With how
that is a
special
success.
I am, I would never be poisoned.
Sorry, I just got done typing all of the irregulars. Now I just need myself and Winter.
Nice, no problem. I really do like how the blessed magic works, and this is kind of that success table system that a lot of the Sanguine games have gone to since then. I think my only issue with it is that I feel like I need the table to reference constantly because the range of effects from these things are very, like, sometimes there's some through lines, right? And so I'm trying to see, like, Hazel seems to be about finding things, but also about romance. There seems to be like...
Yeah, it seems to be like a lot of discovering more about other people.
Yeah. Oh, I do like this. 3 successes or more, you remove a bad smell from a target, such as a skunk spray. So that's very specific. That's cool. Okay. All right. Oh, Orpha. Oh no. Is Orpha one of your new characters?
No, Orpha is like one of the originals.
Oh,
She's
wow.
the
Okay.
true soldier.
All right.
So Orpha
So-
fails. Is this one of those ones where... No, because this is a personal thing.
Yeah, I don't think you can share here. And this is one of those ones where I'm going to be a mean, bad daddy GM, and I apologize. But,
Well, I've got 3 failures on my side then.
yeah, here
None
we go.
worse than
Okay.
Orpha.
So here's the bad news. As you wake up, at first you think you're suffering from indigestion from the food, but the pain is intense, paralyzing even. And then after the first moments of as you're gasping cold air into your lungs, you're realizing that something severely wrong has happened. Something very bad is in progress here. Anyone who got 3 successes suffers no penalty. 2 successes suffer the fatigue status. If you only got 1 success, you are fatigued and immobilized by your pain.
Ooh,
Those of
boy.
you with 0 successes are dying. And those of you who have botched, our dear Orpha, are dead from poison.
Alright, can you, can you just type that out?
Yes, in fact, I will paste that in the chat because yes.
Because I was starting from the 0. Alright, so
Right.
I've lost Orpha, one of my originals. Alright, so 3s are no penalty, 1's fatigued and immobilized. I'm going to list for all my 1s.
So that was the bad news. The worst news, Connor, as you are coming to your senses as the pain boils up in your stomach, you can see standing across from you, illuminated by the embers of the dying firelight, there is Ripe Dow, his large, massive form curled around a much smaller form, one porcupine Potter, and you can see the glinting of a silver blade pressed against Potter's throat. And Dow says, "Wake up, good night, wake up! I have something that I need to tell you."
Could I roll my personality for this endurance roll?
You may, yes. The doctor just did too, so I couldn't deny you it.
All right, so now I have 3 successes. I'm no longer fatigued. Wake
All
up.
right.
There you go.
You fight through. Oh, I love it. Okay. So yes. So as you can hear the moans of pain of your comrades all around you, you're staring into the eyes of Ripe Dow, and you can see the frightened expression on the face of Potter as he glances from you to his captor. And in Ripe Dow, you see sort of a manic craze behind his eyes. It's an expression that is instantly familiar, although you cannot quite place it immediately. And Ripe Dow chuckles, waiting for the realization to hit you. He says, "We must stop meeting like this, good night."
Forgive my ignorance. Who are you?
Ripe Dow feigns a hurt expression and says, "Well, we met before in the Golden Shore. You don't recall me? The sweet and innocent weasel girl who you so nobly saved?"
Out of character. I'm trying to remember her name.
I was trying to remember her name too. It's Taylor.
Taylor, yes.
I believe it was Taylor. Was it Tanya? It was one of the two.
Tanya, yeah.
It was Tanya? Yes.
Mhm.
So you've employed our poor friend Ripe Dow to your cause. He smelled bad before he began.
Exactly. He smelled bad before he died, and you realize now that the scent has not improved any beyond his death. There's like a childish glee on his face as the pieces come together, and And Potter lets out a whimper as the blade cuts against his throat. You can see blood on it. Dow says, "Well, now that we are reacquainted, I must say that you, Connor, and your misguided friends have been quite the thorn in my side. It has been a long time. I honestly expected that Lucetto's monstrosities would have put an end to you, but apparently you are much stronger than even I anticipated. I must also confess that it has begun feeling somewhat personal, you meddling in my schemes, and so I thought that it was about time that I repaid the favor." She twists the knife slightly. Potter lets out another cry.
Is Potter bound in any way?
No, Potter he seems unarmed, still in like whatever he'd be sleeping in, and it's more the fact that this bear's more than double his size, that she's got him like in one, I say she, ripe Dow, but I think we all know at this point that you're dealing with the sorceress who is puppeteering him. But yes, so she's got him in like a bear hug, essentially, with this tiny dagger up against his throat.
He has a porcupine in a grip that puts its back to his stomach.
That is a very fair point.
I think all Connor has to say is push the arm down, push up on the arm to Potter.
I think
drive them home.
Is it a weapon or
It is.
How does it act?
Or is it a gift? Let's find out. I probably should have checked this.
It's been I've never really looked at that one too closely.
I've never played a porcupine. Let's see if it's on the weapon list. Quills. Quills and spines. I assume quills.
It's on their weapons list.
Quills is damage +1 impaling. Yeah, I assume that he could make an attack with his quills, and that she would have to
whether if he's not afraid already or something.
That's true. Is he afraid or not? I mean, this is a pretty terrifying circumstance.
It is. They're a stinky one too.
You know what? I'm going to say that yes, he's afraid. To make that attack, you would have to rally the fear off first.
Light howling.
Can I ask a question while y'all are figuring this out?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
The effect that she's using to take over people's bodies.
Yes.
Is it unreal?
Is it unreal?
Yeah.
I'm not sure I understand exactly what you mean by that.
Unreal is a game term. Like the certain thaumaturge and mind-dominating stuff are classified as unreal.
Oh.
Like Eidolon is an unreal thing. Eidolon Stride is unreal.
Okay. That's a good question then. I was not aware of that classification.
Okay. Quick interception if you want to go ahead and look that up real quick is quills are a brawl weapon. People grappling you are in danger of hurting themselves is what's in the text, but more specifically it is you can claim an extra D12 to escape any grapple.
Oh, so that's cool.
So he has better odds of doing it if someone rallies him to let him do it. If he is afraid. If he's not afraid, he just has the D12. So congratulations.
All right. I think what Connor is going to try to do is first rally Potter and then trick the sorceress, which will put him reeling, but it should help Potter out.
Okay.
And get rid of any focus that the Eidolon has. So
right. Unreal. Interesting.
Examples of it are Eidolon, Eidolon Stride, Severance, Silence, apparently, Delay.
Yeah, it's typically a thaumaturgy effect.
Clouding of minds is unreal. Which is one of the reasons why I'm asking, in fact.
It does feel like it would fit, definitely. I wish I could find like a definition of the tag, but a lot of these tags don't have
But you're
that kind
saying
of
that you
thing.
think that it fits.
Yeah, I think it probably fits.
I ask specifically because my new guy, Rut, is only fatigued and has the spell Remove Glamour because he is a druid,
Oh,
which has the line that causes them confusion and Dispel All Unreal.
oh, that's pretty good too. Okay.
So could just get rid of the sorcerer out of the body of Dao on a successful casting.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think this all comes down to how are we going to handle order of operations is all.
Right, yeah.
Well, obviously Connor does his shit first because he's the most invested in what's going on right now. After that, I would make the argument for Rut. Because, Doctor, we have people dying on the ground, and we need you to save lives and not be a fighter right now.
Yep.
Right.
We only have one combatant. Connor can handle this.
Well,
So
we also don't want to kill Dow. He's innocent.
Yeah.
Well,
he might already be dead.
He might
I
already
think
be
that's
dead.
actually the point.
yeah, I think you would guys know based on your run-ins with Tanya that she was a dead body that was being puppeted. It seems like the magic here has been perfected somewhat to the point that you guys could not tell. It could also be the fact that his natural odor masked some of it, making him kind of a good subject for this.
Like this is the Naruto thing where every time you attack someone, there's a 50-50 chance that they turn into a log. And this is gonna be that. This is gonna be that thing. God damn it, we keep falling for this.
I know. Well, in my defense,
Ready to get to Twitch, and Twitch is dead too, and it's Tanya.
it's been every time. In my defense, I have been planning this. It probably seems like it's coming out of nowhere. I have been planning this for a while. It was always a thing when he reintroduced himself to you, or when you guys met him again. He does he does ask you your names or reintroduce himself. I forget exactly which.
He was
I did point out that
staring at the necromantic thing. Yeah, it
he was
makes
blankly
sense.
staring. He was clueless in the woods, trying to lead you guys back. He was like, "Oh, he's just very forgetful. How does he survive out here?" It's like, haha, it's not him. So yeah, I have been setting this
right in front of us
setting
the
this
whole
up
time.
the whole time, but yeah, okay. So, I think we should start with the action with Connor and Potter, and then we'll go to Rut because I think that is brilliant. This is an unreal effect, so dispelling her out of Dow's body would be a pretty good solution.
All right. Potter now has no longer afraid, and was he reeling, or can I give him focus?
You could give him focus. Yeah, so he's no longer afraid, and he has focus. And what was the other thing you wanted to do was to try to trick?
Yes. It would be, let me give you a copy of what I need to do.
Can you get rallied out of immobilized?
I don't know if he's immobilized. I think he's grappled. Oh, you're talking about the people who are suffered poison.
Potter only had one success, so he's fatigued and immobilized.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
And the only thing that I think matters here is immobilized.
Yeah. Let me double check the wording. I think immobilized means you can't move.
I know,
but I don't think it means you can't attack.
I know you can get rallied from marionette down to immobilized, but you don't think you get rallied out of immobilized.
I do have white magic to do so.
No, I'm saying that you can get parsed down from marionette to immobilized. I don't know that you can get rallied out of immobilized.
I can do that, is what I'm saying.
Oh, you have something else that does that?
Yes.
Because I'm specifically talking about only white magic users can rally marionette to immobilized.
Yep, and immobilized can be slowed can be turned to reeling.
Okay, is that on the list? I must have passed it by.
It's on my list of stuff I put here.
All right, immobilized just means that
it's been a year and a half and I haven't had to use it.
Immobilized just means that they can't counterattack. See, it comes up in my head because you guys used it to kill Harmon.
Gotcha. But you're
It's
right.
like,
You can't
I remember
counterattack,
this
and
is
you
deadly.
can't counterattack, can't
just make
can't
lane
move. You
advantage.
can't dash, sprint, or stride. So
he could remove himself from the grab.
yeah, he could use an action to remove from the grab because he's got his spines. He gets a bonus
okay.
to 12 on it. He could just make a brawling attack with the spines, but unless he felled
Actually, is
them.
the Ripe Dow corpse thing focus or no?
I would say so. This was the whole plan, and she's got to jump on you.
Right, so you have to succeed on the trick first here, which...
Yeah, that's why
how'd
I
that go?
tried to do.
Yeah. Sorry, so yes, you put that in the chat. Cool versus the targets, mind, will, inquiry, and observation. You suffer penalties for range. Well, you're not going to suffer any range penalties. I'll say you're within near range of them. And we're going to use these mental stats. So mind and will, inquiry, and observation. I'm trying to think if any of these fall into like necromancer skills, but I don't think necromancers tend to use deceit, right?
Yes.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah, but it also depends. Is he a necromancer from Calabria? She.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so she's not the career necromancer from Akoma.
Right.
In which case,
So yeah,
we
that
would
comes down
know
to-
their stats.
If they are an academic career of some kind, I think observation usually gets thrown in.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
let's check out wizard real quick.
I mean,
let's
if
find
they
out.
were hardcore, only focusing on necromancer's things, they would have leadership, they would have deceit, and I guess you'd have a random third because that's the major
Right.
things.
Yeah. I think so. They're gonna have mind and will.
Well, they have no choice on that matter.
Yeah, they don't get to choose. Inquiry is dealing with people. Observation is being aware of things.
Mhm.
I don't think that she has either of those.
There you
Actually,
go. 2 dice.
yeah. So it's 2 dice, but they're d12s because we're dealing with end game material here. So
Tanya, god damn it.
here we go.
We tried to save you!
Okay. A 7 does not beat your 9.
So they remain focused.
Okay. What does the trick thing do? I forget.
A moment. If you score 1 success, you may trick your target into taking a focus turn.
Gotcha. So she can't kill Potter this round, which is probably very necessary because I'm trying to kill Potter. So that was a really good move. Okay. And just for flavor, what is it that you're saying to trick her?
What I was trying to do is score 2 successes and either force her to take a focus turn or make her add the confused status to herself.
That would be good too.
That was my ultimate goal.
Your ultimate goal.
Causing her was also good.
Very good in this case, I think. So okay. Yeah, so out of curiosity, what is it you're going to say to trick or confuse her?
Are you sure you want to hug a pincushion?
Sure, perfect.
Using that
Pincushion?
to mask the drawing of his blade, I guess.
Okay. All right. I feel like if I were Potter, I would hold on to my focus until the point where I thought I was going to die, and then try to interrupt the action that would kill me. So it's up to
Yes,
you,
that's
but I assume
what I was going to do.
Yeah. So he's ready to act, but he's waiting for the right moment to act. So yeah. So let's toss it over to. You said it was Rut. He's going to cast this spell.
Gonna try to.
Okay. What do you need to roll? What do I need to roll?
You are resisting with mind, species, academics, and deceit.
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna roll a lot of dice.
Yeah, and I'm an irregular, which means my dice
Academics
are
may have
known.
been the worst choice.
Yeah.
I've got no choice. Is it the only thing in
It's just the only...
the
yeah.
whole arsenal that can instantly dispel all unreal?
Yep.
I mean, there's nothing I can even tap here. I mean, I'd probably just wait for you to roll. Because if
Yeah,
you roll
I'll just
anything
roll
above
mine.
a 6, I'm out.
I mean, it could happen. Let's see.
Yep, nope. 3 of those dice I can't beat.
Yeah.
Rut, quick, tap your personality.
Yeah, no, don't have that. I mean, fortunately, this is a spell I can try basically every other turn.
Yeah. Is it it's a... mystic spell?
And I'm back.
I need a good ice emoji.
Oh, are you back?
Yeah, that was a freeze.
Welcome back. Okay.
I had a good
There we go.
minute long of Griffin half in a yawn, stretching out.
Nice.
No, that's just me normally.
Yep. Okay, so my question was, is the spell that Rut is casting, is it a mystic spell, or do I know that they're casting it? She's casting it, right? Rut is a girl.
Check. Remove glamour. Nope, not mystic. You know what's happened.
Okay.
It is
okay.
magic druid apprentice theurgic.
Ooh.
Naughty.
Okay. All right then. In that case, who's left not immobilized or dying on your side?
Got a lot.
I am fatigued and immobilized over here. I could still rally people, though.
I've got a couple of people that are dying that could use your rallies.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go ahead and attempt to at least save one person with a rally, and then maybe try to save someone else with first aid, if you'll allow that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I literally just am shouting over the
That's a
over all
good...
this, "Don't you die on me!" So, first guy trying to save them. That is 3 successes. I can't
Okay.
get rid of fatigued, but I can turn dying to fatigued. So, congratulations.
Alright, you saved Corvoria, my
Calvora.
alchemist.
Ah, the alchemist.
The sheep inquisitor is still dying.
Yeah, and I think my roll for first aid is the same as my medicine normally, so I'm gonna roll that real quick.
Okay.
Because the D12 basically just gets swapped out. There you go. That is 2 successes to save someone else from poison.
Maybe Vern, he's got no
Vern it
successes.
is. Yeah, we're going with people who have failed the most first.
Oh,
I like
okay.
it.
I was
Do
writing.
induce vomiting.
I was already writing fatigue down for Pamphylia, but I guess 1 for each is a good trade.
Yeah. Alright.
We'll just need you to do it again next turn.
Yep, that's still 2 actions and 2 people saved, so we'll see how it goes.
Yep. Okay. Any more actions on your side before we go to the next turn? Which will be a focus turn for Dow because they've been tricked. But they'll say something and then we'll pass it back to you guys.
Sounds good.
Shit. You can, a regular person can rally a mobilization to slowed. And what does slowed do?
Slowed, I believe. You lose your dash, I think, and something else. Right. Okay. Cannot dash. Other characters get advantage.
All right. What's the rallying dash again? Is it mind and leadership, or is it will and leadership?
I think it's will and leadership.
I'm gonna try and rally one of my bodyguards out of immobilized into
Cool.
slowed. All right, I do. Who else do I have that can rally? So I'm just trying to get my pieces in order before the next turn. Come on, do I not have anybody with leadership? Apparently I do not. Let me just double check that Winter doesn't have it. So many people with team player, no leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well, I'm just gonna try a couple of crap shots here.
Okay.
Boom, there we go.
Okay, nice.
That was
2
Will.
successes.
No, that was somebody else.
Okay.
I have a bunch of people with improved will. Alright, so taking my other bodyguard into slowed. And then I'm going to have both of them, Merlina the Fallen and Ledva Merlina, are going to take up positions around Rut.
Okay, I like it.
Otherwise, not wanting to kill the probably already dead body of our friend. I choose not to do anything else. Everybody else guards.
Okay. All right. So, Ripe Dow's got something to say. So, they're going to say it because this is a focus turn. They can't do anything else. So, Dow, seeing that you guys are muddling through the poison and fighting to get on your feet and to put up a fight, says, "Oh, so tenacious. Well, it seems that our time is short, Connor. I would not be you. I would not trade places with you for all the world. You may survive this night, but you have many things that need your attendance. Even now, the shores of Avoirdupois run red with the blood of your kinsmen, as the Bisclavre fleet makes landfall. I fear that your precious family may not be around much longer. You might be a knight without a banner. And yet, even then, I hope that you stay true to your course. I wish to meet you face to face in the Moire Forest. Once again, forget how you pronounce it. Moire Forest. I do hope you survive the journey. And Dao begins to cackle maniacally, seeming to forget his trump card, which is having this knife to the throat of your squire, which is good, because it provides precious seconds to save Potter's life. That is the end of Dao's turn. Back to you.
Okay. This is tricky because he could interrupt me to do anything he wanted, basically.
Indeed.
Will you want us to do something against him first to try and force him to use his focus?
Right? Maybe if it's like he might use it to defend himself,
well, like
versus using it to attack.
Right.
Potter.
I could have Winter try to use silence on him.
Ooh.
You know what might be better?
Hmm.
Misfortune. Make him drop Potter.
Ooh, yeah.
Well, he would drop his weapon. I don't think he's
But still.
swinging around Potter as like
So pretty equivalent.
as a quill bat.
In my mind, the weapon is the most important thing right now because,
True.
I mean, yes, it would be an attack roll. I would definitely
You're
give him
saying that,
advantages
but
on
remember
this.
that the person inhabiting Tao is a magic user. So
That's true.
silencing them would reduce them down to the weapon.
That's true. I mean, I think you guys are more at threat from the poison right now than from Dow. The only person who's in mortal danger is Potter.
Right, but at the end of the day, Tanya's not the actual person. But the person in Tao has the ability to throw out powerful necromantic spells, like one that targets everybody that's down right now.
That's a fair point, yes.
I think it's the safety of everybody to try and silence them before they can cast anything.
You make a good point. Thank you for thinking of something I did not.
Also, the fact that
is
they're
very
like
fair.
a super knot, though, just means that this is a very low chance. So if you want me to
What's the
try it,
resistance
go
on
to that.
silence?
Hold on, I've got it open. Silence is resistant with body, speed, will, and supernatural. I would assume that 2 of those might be coming from the dead body.
That's true. Yeah, right. Body and speed are will be D8s.
Otherwise, will and supernatural coming into D12 territory, but
yeah.
This is another one of those I'm looking to see if I can even beat you.
Right. Actually, we'll get a little more granular. Ripe Dow is not fast, guys, so it would be a D6 for the speed, a D8 for the body, and then 2D12 for the supernatural. What were the other ones? Body, speed, supernatural, and what?
Sorry, let me go back again. I was checking my own dice.
I should probably just
body, speed, will, and supernatural.
So the will would be the D12 and the supernatural would be the other one. Okay.
This is another case of if you get anything above a 6, then it doesn't matter.
Let's see. Yeah.
Yep, there's a 9. I mean, I gotta try, right?
Sure, yeah.
Otherwise, Rut refreshes Druidic Magic and then readies Remove Glamour again.
Right, I think so. Yeah, sorry. I gotta play this. I was gonna say like she would respond to an attack or a movement, but this is a spell. You guys are casting offensive spells on her. She's aware of it. She's gonna use her focus to attack Potter.
Actually, hold on. Silence is mystic.
Oh, is it? Oh, right.
She has supernatural, and she is in focus, so she can make a roll to see if she sees it. But otherwise, by default, she doesn't know.
Is there a standard roll for that, or would it be will and supernatural?
God, I don't remember. It's been forever since this has actually happened. That we've had somebody in focus.
We've heard that sometimes supernatural will be rolled without an attribute. I'm just going to roll a d12, and we'll see. Wow. Okay. Congratulations. So she is not aware.
Yeah. Otherwise, the other person is preparing a spell but hasn't taken action.
Yeah. Okay. So there's an attempt to silence her, which fails, but she's not aware of the attempt. Connor, do you have a play to try?
Well, he needs to recover from reeling. Connor does.
Right.
And then,
Oh, well, sorry, I've got one more play I can make on your behest.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot, I took Obnoxious Fool. I said it in chat.
Which would mean
that if I were to
taunt her.
Yeah, if I were to taunt her, that Connor would get a bonus D12 to his defense if she were to attack him.
This is true.
Hey, being obnoxious pays off. There you go.
I think you can use your foolery to remove their focus.
Hold on. I don't think so, but I was
You
Well,
looking
get
let's
two
more
check.
to
successes.
Connor's defense. I mean, yeah, I guess it would make them enraged, which would just mean
Hmm.
that they would have to attack.
Hmm.
So, I guess it would kind of.
Here's what I'm reading from Foolery. If you get one success, the target becomes enraged.
That's what I just
If the
said.
target was afraid or otherwise unable to, nothing happens. Enraged characters must take the attack action to round.
Right.
2 successes knocks off anything that would have negated the enrage, and they become enraged anyway.
Right.
So if you get 2 successes on this, you remove their focus and make them enraged.
Right. Which
It
is
would
what you
mean,
would want to happen. I
yeah,
think the ideal scenario would be I would only get one success, removing their focus and not making them enraged.
right.
Well, I don't think that would remove their focus if you only got 1 success.
The target becomes enraged, which, okay, well, whatever. Whatever, I'm trying it anyway.
Yeah.
Because best case scenario, I make them enraged, which forces them to attack, but also gives Connor a bonus D12 defense, which is
It's true.
better scenario at the end of the day.
Also,
Yeah.
they would be attacking on their turn, which means that you guys would have more actions that could not be interrupted by her focus.
Yeah. And Connor has yet to take his turn for this.
Right.
So he
So,
would rather this person counter him rather than break focus to attack Potter. So I'm actually would be glad if you would make him enraged.
So you need to roll your will inquiry and my body die. Hold on, I think I have this in a macro already. Yeah, hold on. So you need to roll your will and inquiry and my body die. Rolled a 2. Unfortunately, I've rolled
well, they don't.
shit. So you just
They don't
need to
have
beat a
inquiry.
3.
I could roll another 1. Let's see. I
Yeah.
did not.
Yeah.
Okay.
To be fair, though, apparently this is a pretty good roll on me if you've only got will to counter with.
Yeah. Really. That could come in handy later. So, all right. So yes, I think that she's going to try to stab Potter. Potter has focus.
Well, I have yet to take Connor's turn.
I think she's interrupting. I think this initial
Oh.
focus was going to be an interruption to her being uh, silenced or
Well, she didn't know
she
she
didn't
was
know the
getting
silence.
So
It's going to be whatever the action was. Maybe the taunting.
I
is what did it.
cursed at her and rudely gestured, and she's like, fuck it, I'm killing Potter.
She's just like, that's it. Dab.
Okay.
Potter also has focus. He can try to interrupt, although I don't know. I feel like mechanically there's no reason he shouldn't guard. Narratively, I feel like when you're caught in like a hostage situation, how do you guard against that, right? But like I could see him interrupting to try to attack her. If he can get her reeling, then it would stop her attack. Like he does the thing where he bites her hand, right? Or something.
Well,
That's
actually, could
classic.
I interrupt to draw a weapon to counter with it?
If he's immobilized or slowed, he can't counter.
True.
Right.
So could he still ready, like say, a shield?
I don't think so. I think the situation is she basically snatched him out of bed. So I don't think he has like literally anything at his disposal. He's got his quills, got his chompers.
All right. So let me see what I can roll for that, because this is going to be a very bad roll for him.
Yeah. This is an attack, a brawling attack.
Yes. So it would be body, species, and brawling.
Right. We said body is a D8 for Dow. We're just gonna do. We'll do 2D8 and a D6 for the brawling. He's not really a fighter.
Alright, so I'm basically rolling to see if my guard comes up or not. Alright. Goodbye, Potter.
Body, species, brawling, guard. Oh. I'm a little bit confused. He shouldn't have guard on him.
Well, interrupt the guard so he can you can't counter, can you?
No.
He can't counter. What I was saying is that he could attack. He could use his focus to attack and try to send her reeling.
So that's
if he does
2
that,
and 1. So yeah, goodbye, Potter. Didn't
okay.
work.
Right. And I guess she would counter that.
Knife?
Yeah, he's got a knife.
Which is what, +1 or +0?
A dagger. I assume plus. You know, I don't actually know if it's a +0 or a +1. Let's find that out. I've got my weapon table up here. Doop-doo. Cheap, common melee dagger, damage +1.
So soak 2 damage. Or I guess 3 damage since he rolled
He's
3.
injured. He was injured.
He's injured.
So
and I get a
4
bonus D8 because he's immobilized. Sorry. It didn't matter. Okay.
So 4 damage, so he is injured. With the resolution of that, I know we're in the middle of combat. You guys mind if we take a quick break?
Not at all. That's fine. I pulled Potter's token out. I'm just going to throw some statuses on it. But yeah, so we'll come back after a break.
All right.